Hello and welcome to my analysis for the Remington Springboard Mile. It's on Friday, and it's part of the Kentucky Derby Points Trail. My last two picks haven't been that great. Sonic Skedaddle did not run well in the Kentucky Jockey Club, and Keewaydin did not run well in the Remsen Stakes either, so I need to get back on track. Unfortunately, this is another tough race, but let's take a look at it anyway. Number 1 is Coal Battle. He won the Jean Lafitte at Delta Downs. It was a 6.5 furlong race. He made one mistake by going too wide into the stretch. He kind of blew the turn actually, but he straightened out to win by 2.5 lengths. I don't like the fact that he's going off Lasix because his 2 wins came on Lasix. And also, his 2 1-mile races aren't that great. He was just passing tired horses at Kentucky Downs to finish 4th, and then he didn't even come close in the race at Keeneland. He was 7th in that race. However, those races were on turf. I guess I could forgive them, but those are the 2 negatives. He's coming off Lasix, and his 2 1-mile races aren't that great. This is a 1-mile race, but he is a contender. I'll put him in my top 4. Let's move on. Number 2 is Blue Angel, and I think this one has a nice pedigree. Gunrunner out of a Sky Mesa mare, and he cost a lot of money. I think it was $230K, so there's probably a lot of good pedigree inside there in the dam line. However, he ran a slow race in his debut. He did win by a head, but it was only a 60 on Timeform US, and I think it was even worse on Bayer. I think it was like a 34. In any case, it was too slow for me to take him seriously in this spot. I know it was just his debut, and he could improve by many points, but he would have to improve by 30 points on Timeform US to be competitive in this race, and I don't know if he could do that. I'm going to pass on him, but I understand if some people are interested. Number 3 is Speed King. He got a nice figure for his debut win at Churchill Downs. He got a 99 on Timeform US, and he got an 82 on Bayer. Based on those numbers alone, he has to be taken seriously. However, I worry about the pace scenario, because he won that race on the lead, uncontested, and in this spot he will need to face pressure from Dominant Spirit and Dr. Ruben M., and I just worry how Speed King will handle that pressure, especially when stretching out to 1 mile for the first time. I will place him in my top 4 based on his speed figures, but I'm not sure how he will handle the extra pressure from the outside. We'll see. Number 4, Dominant Spirit. As I said, this gelding has good speed. He showed good speed in a Clever Trevor Stakes on this course on October 25. He only lost by half a length to Jolly Samurai. Now, Jolly Samurai probably took advantage of the pace scenario. You see the red coloring around the 110. It means the first quarter was fast, and this horse ran a good race to only lose by half a length. However, I worry about the pace scenario. Like I said, Speed King has speed, and Dr. Ruben M has speed, and I just worry about how this gelding will handle the shippers in this race, and I will just have to cross him out, so I'm not going to use him. Number 5 is Brooklyn Alley Cat. I don't want to spend too much time on this horse. I'm not too interested. He lost by 13 lengths to Jolly Samurai on August 17. Granted, it was just a sprint race, and more recently, he did win an allowance race at 1 mile on this track. He got a 79 on Timeform US, and he beat another competitor in this race, Kino. But Kino is a long shot in this race, and I just think this horse is too slow to be competitive. I'm going to pass. Number 6 is Essay. He recovered from a 17-length loss to Jolly Samurai to win an allowance race on November 16 in a 5.5 furlong sprint. I still question how good he is. Even though he got a career high 87 on Timeform US in that race, that's still not going to cut it in this race. Maybe being gelded helped him out, but he also has to stretch out from 5.5 furlongs to 1 mile, and he faces other speed, like Speed King, Dominant Spirit, Dr. Ruben M., and I just don't know how he will handle that. I think if you're going to take a speed horse, you might as well take Speed King. I don't think SA is fast enough to win this race. Let's move on. Speaking of Jolly Samurai, he's number 7, and he won 2 stakes races in a row, and he also won his maiden race, so he's 3 for 3. He just keeps on winning. Again, I question his class, and I question his speed. His top figure on Timeform US is 87, and that's not going to cut it. He needs to run faster, but he's a closer, and I respect the fact that he keeps winning. If you're going to play a trifecta or superfecta, you probably want to put this horse underneath in a 3rd or 4th spot. I don't think he's fast enough to win, though. Number 8, Complex Music. I thought about this colt for a long time because there are some things I don't like about him, But I like his last race a lot. I like the way that he pulled clear in the end. He won by 8 lengths. And if you find the replay, it's not easy to find. If you find the replay, he won by 8 lengths, but it was so easy that it makes you think that he could go on to at least 1 mile. And he was stronger and stronger towards the wire. It's not on YouTube, so you will have to go to Horseshoe Indianapolis site or find it on TwinSpires or wherever. But it's a really nice replay to watch because it makes me think that a light bulb went off in this horse's head, because that race doesn't look like any other race in his record. But there are some things I don't like. Complexity only has 1 dirt route winner out of 7 tries, so it's not a large sample size. And I don't like the fact that he's only experienced up to 6.5 furlongs at this point, and now he's going to 1 mile. I mean, if Steve Asmussen thought he could run 1 mile, why wouldn't he have tried it or tried 7 furlongs at an earlier point? However, maybe a light bulb went off in his head, and maybe Steve Asmussen sees now that he could be a router. I'm going to make him my top choice. I know Complexity doesn't get a lot of route winners, but maybe this will be another one. Number 9 is Dr. Ruben M. In his last start, he broke his maiden at Santa Anita in a 1 mile race. He won by 3/4 of a length over rank. Just the fact that he broke his maiden at Santa Anita means I have to take him seriously, because this is Remington Park, and this is a soft field. So just the fact that it came at Santa Anita, a higher tire track, means he's probably from a higher class. However, his speed figures aren't that great. Although if Rank was in this race, I guess Rank would be one of the main contenders in this race if he were in this race. I still don't know if Dr. Ruben M could pull it off with the pace scenario against him. Speed King is in this race, Dominant Spirit is in this race, and they will show speed from the inside, although this horse gets the outside, and that's usually more advantageous when you're a speed horse. He's one of the main contenders, but I can't trust him alone, so I'm going to rank him in my top 4. And I'll probably just say he could win, but I'm not going to pick him on top. Number 10 is Medicine Dog. He was third by 2 1/4 of a length to Jolly Samurai on October 25 on this course. But why wouldn't you just take Jolly Samurai if you're going to take a horse from that race? Or even Dominant Spirit, who was on the lead and probably doing all the work. I don't think this horse is that good. In his next start, he finished 5th by 6.5 lengths to SA. In an allowance race, that 5.5 furlong allowance race we were talking about earlier. I think this horse is overmatched. I'm going to pass on him. Number 11, Mr. Omaha. He won his last 3 starts, so I have to respect that. However, those starts came against Oklahoma breds, so I don't know who he was facing in those starts. He did win a 1 mile race on this racetrack, and that's nice to see that he could handle the distance on this track. Again, though, he was facing Oklahoma breds, and his top figure of 92 probably is a few points below where he needs to be to win this race. I don't think I can trust him until I see him against Open Company. I know he's going to be in a good spot. He's probably going to be in a stalking position, but I'm going to pass. Number 12, Keno. One of my favorite games in the casino. He lost by 11 lengths to Jolly Samurai in the Clever Trevor Stakes. And then he lost to Brooklyn Alley Cat in an allowance race on November 25. If he can't beat Brooklyn Alley Cat, I don't see how he's going to beat the Shippers, let alone Jolly Samurai or Dominant Spirit, or even Medicine Dog. I can't take him, I'm going to pass. Sorry for not showing any race replays in this video. In any case, Complex Music is my top choice in this race. I know the negatives of choosing this colt. His sire Complexity doesn't sire many dirt route winners, and just the fact that this colt hasn't competed past 6.5 furlongs worries me. But I like the way he won his last race. It was so strong, and he was so strong towards the wire, that it makes me think he could get 1 mile. And we'll just have to see. I also like the fact that he could be a stalker. He doesn't need to lead to win. And he got that high figure on time formulas relative to this field, a 96. He's my top choice. But Speed King is a contender, and who else is a contender? Dr. Ruben M is a contender, and there's one more horse that I liked. Cold Battle, I'll also name him a contender. That's my top 4. Complex Music, Speed King, Dr. Ruben M, and Cold Battle are all contenders in this race, but Complex Music is my top choice. Thanks for watching my video, and hopefully I'll be back soon.